This episode of the This Is Reportage podcast is sponsored by DreamBooks Pro. Choosing an album supplier is a super important thing as we need so many elements. The wow factor, extremely high quality printing and production, a quick and consistent turnaround time, intuitive software to help us design, and friendly support people who get back to us quickly. Yep, we want a lot, and DreamBooks Pro deliver on it all. Don't just take my word for it either, as they are the album supplier of choice and raved about by so many world-class photographers, many of whom I've interviewed on this podcast actually, including our current photographers of the year, Jesse and Moira LaPlante, previous potties, Yves Schiepers and Fabio Merula, Doc Day founders Kevin and Annie Kafash, and Victor Lax, to name just a few. Originally from Portugal, they are present in more than 30 countries worldwide and have 40 years of history. Listeners to our podcast can also get an exclusive 25% discount on an order. Just head to dreambookspro.com/TIR and leave your email on a simple form to get it. I'll also include the link on this episode's page on thisreportage.com. Thanks to DreamBooks Pro for sponsoring this episode. Hi and welcome to episode 132 of the This Is Reportage podcast. My name is Alan Law, I'm the founder of This Is Reportage and This Reportage family, and I'm a photographer too. Really excited to be chatting to one of the UK's very best and loveliest documentary wedding photographers today, the fab Olly Knight. Based in Canterbury and shooting weddings all over the UK and Europe, Olly has won 4 Reportage Awards from us and also hosts his own workshops and mentoring too. We chat about loads on the episode today, including his background in the music industry and how he became a wedding photographer, an amazing tip regarding the canapes, a very unique and surprising quiz, why the documentary approach is so important to him, embarrassing tales from weddings and doing his own dental work at a destination wedding, just why work-life balance is so vital and what he's done to achieve the right balance for him, social media, advice for capturing proposals, the time he sang with Ed Sheeran at a wedding, his night class workshops and training, the story behind his most recent Reportage Award, and so much more. Before we hear from Olly, just a couple of things from me. I'm running 2 of my own documentary wedding photography workshops in the UK soon. One in Cornwall on the 11th of October 23 and one in Manchester on the 18th of October 2023. I'm a complete open book on my workshops and I share every facet of my shooting and business approach, all within a really relaxed and fun atmosphere too. So if you haven't had enough of my voice on the podcast already and can stand the horror of actually seeing me as well as hearing me, then you can head to alanlawphotography.co.uk to book on either workshop. 14 of the 15 places have already been taken on the Manchester date, so there's just the 1 place left on that one at time of this podcast going out, and a third of places have got on the Cornwall date. These will be my final workshops of 2023, and I won't be doing another Cornwall or Manchester workshop for at least the next 5 years. As you'll hear from Olly in the podcast too, he also runs his own courses, and his brilliantly named Night Class course is running on the 11th and 12th of January 2024. You can grab a place at ollyknightphotography.co.uk/education, and I've also linked to it from this episode's page on the TIR website. Finally, just to let you know, there's just a couple of weeks left to submit to our current awards. The deadline is the same for both our wedding and family websites. Submit by 23:59 BST on the 23rd of September 2023. Right, over to Olly. Hey Olly, how you doing?
Hi Alan, I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm also good, thank you very much. Yeah, good. How's things in general? Where in the UK are you like Canterbury? Are you?
Yeah, Canterbury. Yeah. Well remembered. Yeah, I'm in the Garden of England in Kent, I'm based here pretty much most of the time, and I just got back from holiday actually, Alan.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Before we talk about your holiday, I'd say I've heard some tales about Canterbury.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you. I bet you never heard that one before.
I actually haven't, but it's a great joke. I'd love to repeat that to many people that I talk to.
So how was your holiday? Where'd you go?
Yeah, it was really good. We went to Portugal. I shot a wedding there a month ago, so it's funny going back.
Purely was it just a coincidence?
Yeah. Just a coincidence. Both booked we booked the holiday and then the wedding booked me. We stayed in an Airbnb near Porto, and it was beautiful. It was in the mountains, big pool, tennis court, kids loved it, and nice weekend to relax really.
Lovely.
Really appreciate it.
Did you go with some other friends as well?
Yeah. That's good intel. Yeah, we went with another family. We actually went there 5 years ago in 2018 when the world was very different, and it was funny. Like I took my camera, as you do, and I kind of repeated some of the photos. I just tried to capture some of the same kind of angles and some of the same places. And the kids are growing up so much. It's so scary. It really is. But it's amazing.
Oh, that's cool. I think I saw on your Instagram stories actually some like before and after photos and stuff. That's cool. That's nice. You're so good with your Insta stories. It's something we'll talk about obviously at some point actually. Yeah, we should. Because you're so good on the social side, so natural and that's just so interesting as well. So
I don't really put too much thought into it. I basically just kind of share what I'm up to now and again. And yeah, I don't really think about it too much. I tend to like make my stories just, me, bit of fun, bit of kind of bantery, jokey, and then my posts tend to be like a bit more serious and a bit more like, docu kind of stuff.
Well, that's a perfect blend, isn't it? Do you think that's a key as well? So maybe not, as you said, then not really think too much about what you're putting up rather than over analyzing everything.
Well, I don't know. I know lots of people who like, spend like hours like thinking about it and will, do 10 takes of a video or will, purchase apps to make their, photo collages look perfect. But I'm just a bit like, nah, whack it up there. And if people don't like it, they're more than welcome to unfollow me.
Well, that's great, isn't it? And that's just the real you, authentic you. And that's what people value most in this day and age as well, is that authenticity, I think. So
I try that. I put out a poll recently of like, what do people appreciate about, the stories I put out? And most people weren't that interested in my personal life. Most people were either interested in behind the scenes at weddings or me kind of clowning about and being stupid. So I'll stick to that really.
Oh, that's all good.
Give the people what they want, Alan.
Well, yeah, but your personal life is also the behind the scenes at weddings, isn't it? It's like the same thing.
It's true. It's true.
All good. And how's wedding season in general coming along? How was the wedding in Portugal? Was that a fun one?
Oh, it was amazing. It was a 3-day Indian wedding in the Algarve. And It was a couple that I shot their surprise proposal in London a couple of years ago and really got on really well with them. And it was a blast. I took out Tom, a guy that I mentored a couple of years ago as a second shooter. And we stayed on site. We had our own little villa with our own little pool. And we were just really well looked after. And I lost part of my tooth, which I can talk to you about if you want to hear about that.
I've got that as a little question later on, but let's do it now while you mentioned that. And you had to do your own dental work.
Oh gosh, it was horrible. So picture the scene. Everyone's tucking into their, like lovely Indian food on the first night. And I was very much enjoying it. I think I was eating some lamb at the time, Alan, one of my favorite meats.
I love lamb as well.
Oh, I love lamb. And I was tucking into the lamb. And then all of a sudden, I felt that something weird in my mouth. And I said to Tom, like, what's going on here? Can you notice anything about my teeth? And he said, oh gosh, like you've got, he probably didn't say gosh, but he said, oh, you've got a piece of your tooth missing. And so I looked in a reflection on my phone and sure enough, there's a great big chip in my tooth. So I went up to the groom. Guess what the groom does for a job?
Is a vet?
No, he's a dentist. He's a dentist.
Oh, wow, that's handy then.
Yeah, the perfect time would have been 2:30 because that's the dentist's favourite time.
Yes,
oh,
I love that. We do that one at home.
1-1. But yeah, I went up to him and I was like, Si, what would you recommend? And he said, Olly, you can come and see me in my surgery. What if they call them dental practice when you get back from the UK? Or if it's really bugging you, like, I wouldn't recommend this, but go into your room, try and find a nail file from somewhere and then file down your tooth so it's not as sharp. And I went up to the wedding planner and I said, Cassandra, I've only spoken to you once, but do you have a nail file I can borrow just to try and kind of flatten my tooth a little bit? And she said, Olly, I've got one on site, but I don't want you to borrow it. I want you to have it because I never want to see it again. And so she gave me a nail file. I went into my bathroom, I filed down my tooth, and it was one of the weirdest, strangest experiences ever. I've never had to do this before. And then kind of picturing everyone outside like dancing and drinking and eating, and this poor Olly in this glamorous destination wedding in inverted commas, filing down his teeth. So yeah, it's fine now. No one really notices that I did anything to it, and I'm going to meet up with Si, and he's going to correct my tooth at the end of the month. So win-win. Wow. It's really good.
That is a mad story. That's
really strange.
Did it not really hurt to file a tooth?
People have asked this. I don't think it went for any nerve or anything. So I think it was fine. But it just it was just like it was just kind of filing down like a table or like a chair leg or something like that. It didn't feel any different to that. It was just filing down something strange. But yeah, so that was back in June. But to be honest, Alan, I've pretty much taken the whole summer holidays off. So I'm not busy at all at the moment. I'm very chilled, which is lovely.
That is good. Do you do that on purpose? Like, 'cause
I
with your
did.
kids?
Yeah, I think so. I think in previous summers I've tended to have done a few weddings in August, but this summer I was just like, you know what? What would happen if I just blocked out the whole of the summer holidays, bar one wedding, and just spent 5-6 weeks with the family? And I'm not going to lie, bookings have been down this year. I think it's been down across the board, and it's been hard to try and fill the winter and the autumn and the spring dates. And to be honest, it's been busiest in May and June. But yeah, I've so appreciated having the time off. And Caleb, my son, he's 10. He's going to be taking the 11 plus exam in September, so I'm going to spend a bit of time with him, trying to help him, kind of pass that and everything. Yeah. So there's been a fair bit of stuff to do, but yeah, I think I just want to enjoy the kids whilst they're this age.
Well, exactly. They're only young once, man. It's
you've got kids similar ages, haven't you?
Yes, so 8 and 11. No, what? Wait a minute.
Oh.
I should No, they are 8 and 11. Yes, of course they are. Like my daughter's going to be starting secondary school in September.
Oh, wow. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, it's a scary time. So this week she's had like an induction-y type week where they're just doing like fun stuff though. So that's good. And she's made some new friends, which is good. So
that's good.
Yeah, but it's mad, isn't it?
You just want the best for them, don't you? And like, I found secondary school so difficult, and I was picked on a bit, and I just found it real kind of toxic atmosphere. And I just don't want that for my kids. I just want them to be able to enjoy learning, to be able to enjoy school, and not to be pushed into like certain subjects, but just to be able to enjoy like a breadth, rather than having to kind of narrow everything down to English and maths and science. But yeah, ironically, that's what I'm trying to teach Caleb at the moment to pass the 11 plus. So
I remember doing the 11 plus. I remember that. Did you do that as well?
No, I grew up in Sussex, so we never did that. We just went to a normal secondary school. But I think I really disagree with it, if I'm honest, because I think it just segregates at such a young age. And it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy as well. Like the kids that don't pass it will think, oh, no, what's the point in trying? And then the kids that do pass it will be under more pressure at a top school. And so, yeah, it's hard. But I think we're just trying to play the game, just trying to, get him through the test. And I don't think it's, 50-50. We'll see what happens.
Oh, it's all, whatever happens will be for the best. It'll be
exactly.
Good.
Yeah, he's great on guitar, so that's all right.
Oh, that's good. Good stuff. Yeah. Do you teach him? Him?
No. So like, I mean, we've jammed. I play guitar and piano, but like we've jammed. But yeah, he's doing so well. He's probably better at solos than I am now, to be honest. And he's only 10.
That's cool. Oh, dude. Yeah. So I did 11 plus. I learned the guitar as well.
Did you? That's good. Are you an electric player? Or are you acoustic?
I only did I did a little bit of that. I was in a couple of bands a long time ago, but mostly acoustic. I play it virtually every day, actually.
That's good. That's brilliant. Any crazy band names from back in the day?
My first band was called Slack, which is bad. Okay. And then Salon Kitty, actually, we played like heavy stuff there.
Salon Kitty, they aren't as cringe as I thought they were going to
be. Before we go on to other subjects, so many subjects that just came up there, though. I mean, I just have to go back to the tooth and the lamb. Lamb is normally like really soft and tender. Tough. Yeah, I know. My wife always takes a bit.
Where did you grow up?
I know, just south of Birmingham, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that how you say it there?
I think so. Or maybe it's just me. I do pronounce things strangely, I think. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. It's brilliant. That's too. Yeah. Sorry, repeat the question.
How did you do it? And lamb is normally nice and soft. Was it a chop?
I know. Well, no, I think lamb chop. I think that was your lamb chops from this Indian wedding banquet.
Do they not have lamb chops at Indian banquet?
I've just got a really funny picture in my mind of like this butcher with a lamb chop and like presenting it at the Indian wedding. So I think it was because the lamb was off the bone, but I think there was a bit of bone in the middle that I must have chowed down on, and then my tooth must have took objection to that piece of bone, and that must have caused the chip, really. Unless my tooth was just so brittle and it was just waiting to go anyway. But yeah, it made me feel really weird because I had such high hopes for that wedding, and I went in like feeling so excited about it, and then that really took the wind out of my sails for like half an hour until I filed it down. And once I filed it down, I felt invincible. I was just like, I can take on anything. I've done my own dental work. I can photograph anything this weekend. And it was amazing. And you know what, it was the first wedding I think in my life where I've cried at the end just because I didn't want it to end. And like we were all kind of, I sound a bit kind of, I don't know, over emotional, but we were stood on a like a balcony. The sun was going down. I was with Tom, I was with the couple, and I was just like, guys, this has been like a career highlight for me. This has been amazing. I don't want it to end, and I think really highly of you guys. I just started to well up and cry.
Oh, dude.
It was amazing. It went from despair with the tooth to kind of tears of joy at the end.
Oh, that's so cool. I think that's very rare. I've
never had it before.
No, I've never cried at a wedding from like not wanting to go, I think. But I
do love my family.
Yeah, no. I've had some really lush weddings where I've really got on with a couple and it's been really lush. And for I've not done loads of destinations, but like one destination that I did, and I was right with it until about 2:30, 3 in the morning. And it was beautiful. So nice. And it was a lovely atmosphere. And I could have a drink as well.
Yeah, you know what? Like at this wedding, I kind of had a few wines in the evening, and the couple just said, "Oh, put down your cameras." I think it was 1:30 a.m. Put down your cameras, come and join us on the dance floor. I'd normally feel really self-conscious about that, and I've never danced at a wedding before. But we put down our cameras, we danced, we tried to do Indian dancing. We probably failed dramatically, but it was really fun. Just like joining in, and even like I didn't care that I was missing out on kind of some of the stuff that was happening because the couple had specifically told us, "Put down your cameras. You've photographed for kind of 14, 15 hours already. Put down your cameras, just celebrate with us." And those memories, honestly, like it was really, really lovely. I'll never forget it. It was amazing. Your destination wedding, was that in Montenegro?
It was the Montenegro one.
I love those pictures. And you had that great picture of the guys jumping into the lake or the sea.
Or the sea, yes. Thank you, dude.
Oh, it was amazing. It was really inspiring. I think I saw those pictures just before I did my first destination wedding. It really inspired me, I think. They were brilliant, man. So good.
Thanks so much, man. It's lovely of you to say. It's really nice. But yeah, like you, so I don't normally drink at a wedding at all. So, but on destinations, I'm not generally not driving and stuff. So it's more relaxed, isn't it? And
let your hair down, have a bit of fun.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's nice. It's nice.
A real treat. Really
nice. Yeah. How did you get? Oh, but actually, as another question, because what you said earlier as well, you said so. This the 3-day Indian one, you did their actual surprise proposal. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've only done 2 of them, but neither of the couples went on and booked me for the actual wedding. What's that about?
That's interesting.
What's that about, Ollie? What's
that? They discovered how bad you are. No, not at all. I mean, I've had a mixed bag. So I've had some couples that have gone on to book me for their wedding. That's been great. So I did a wedding in Germany actually during COVID, which was interesting. Oh, wow. But they went on to book me, and yeah, like this one in Portugal, which I'm so pleased they did. But I've had another couple that have booked me for UK weddings, but like lots that haven't. I think sometimes it comes down to like cost, because obviously it's a lot more to hire a wedding photographer than to do a proposal shoot.
That's true.
And I think also some of it comes down to style. So I know that lots of people who'd be after a proposal shoot would be after more of like the couple pictures, and that's really not what I major on a wedding day at all. So I'm more than happy to take some pictures after a surprise proposal, but I always say to them, just don't look at the camera, enjoy yourselves, we'll just hang out in some different places. And so I don't really ever tend, I think you've got a similar philosophy. I never really tend to pose my couples. I tend to just let them be them and head to some nice places and have a walk, have a hug somewhere. I never do any more than that. So I think sometimes people that book proposal shoots or engagement shoots, they want a bit more posy stuff on the wedding days, perhaps. So that's another reason, I guess.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense, Ollie. You are very wise, and it makes me feel a bit better about myself. It's something we've not actually spoken about much before, proposals. So just whilst we're on the subject, do you have any tips for someone who's maybe got a proposal coming up as a photographer and hasn't done it, has never done it before? Any advice?
Oh, you know what? There's no feeling quite like it with photography, because that it's one moment that you can't then go back and replicate. And so I always get a huge rush of adrenaline. I always feel really, really scared and out of my depth beforehand, and I feel like a fraud. But then I just have to kind of trust that I've got myself in the right place. And I think like I always try and be fairly near where the proposal's going to happen, but I always try and like throw people off the scent by either pretending to be on my phone to my mum. That's always a good one. Or how's the weather down in Sussex? Or maybe, I don't know, pretending to photograph a piece of architecture or pretending to photograph a plant or something. And then when you clock that the people are nearby, then you can then kind of swing around once you see out the corner of your eye that the person's down on one knee, that kind of thing. So I think it's like do your research around the place, know exactly where they're going to propose, try and throw them off the scent by kind of photographing something else, and then I always tell the person who's proposing to stay in the moment afterwards, because the really easy thing would be to point out the photographer and be like, oh, surprise, I had a photographer. Actually, it's like you get the best moments and you get the best emotion just after the person proposes, and I always say to them, like, stay in that moment, enjoy that moment, like the emotion will really, really come out then. Don't point me out until the other person's already seen me. So I think those would be my big tips.
Those are all great tips, man. You're so good. Like, you just straight off the top of your head, like just know this. So I never give people questions in advance, but you just give me such great answers already.
Oh, that's kind. Thank you.
Well, it's true, dude. It's true. It's so cool. Cool, man. Yes. So yeah, I've only done a couple of proposals. One of them, my wife a few months after was like looking at my phone. She's like, "Why have you got this photo of a dude in a mirror on your phone?" And because he'd sent me a photo of what he was wearing.
That's amazing. I think I've had the same.
Yeah, I don't know why my wife was looking at my phone though. That's the biggest. I don't know what that was about.
You got anything to hide?
Yeah, and I have nothing to hide. Anyway, no, that's a whole other subject.
Also, just to say, like, I know this isn't, me interviewing you, but something that I've really admired from you doing your talks and like from, kind of seeing your stuff, on social media or whatever, is how much appreciation you have for your wife. Is it Omi?
Oh, it is. Yes.
Honestly, like when you shared about her doing your presentation, I think it was at Elevate conference a few years back, and you basically devoted a good few minutes to her and just like how much you love her and how like, you're devoted to her and everything. And I thought this is absolutely brilliant. And like, this doesn't get spoken about as much as it should be at, conferences or photography events, things like that, because it's not just the wedding day, it's the marriage, and it's, it's the union between the two people for the rest of their lives. And so you sharing for a few minutes about your wife, it was a really beautiful thing. And so I just wanted to say, like, well done and kudos to you. And, like that's brilliant. I love that.
Oh, thank you, man. That's super lovely of you. It's super lovely of you. I'm just super lucky. She's amazing. I'm so incredibly lucky. So yeah, I'm just obsessed. But thank you. That's so lovely of you to say that. That was mad. Elevate was literally like a week or two before lockdown.
Oh man, it was, wasn't it? I remember packing hand sand in my bag, which I'd never done before in my life. And I also remember sitting away from everyone else in the cinema. And I've never done anything like that either in my life. And it just felt so strange just a few days before, we all went into lockdown. So it's it was a crazy time.
It feels like another world to go. It does feel like
it really does. Place. It really does. And like how much we lost in that year, but then actually like how much we learned from that time as well. It's amazing.
It's true. Yeah. Good things have come from it as well. So yeah,
absolutely.
Olly, you won another Reportage Award just yesterday. Congratulations.
Hey, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I read on your Insta stories that it was literally the second photo you took on that day.
It was.
Was it really?
It really was. Yeah, I think I took one picture of the house outside because I was trying to do an establishing picture of like where the bride's getting ready. And literally, I walked into the kitchen. I think it was even before I'd said hello to the bride and the bride's dad. And then that just happened. And I was like, I've got to photograph this. I'm sorry, I'm not going to meet everyone at first. I'm just going to photograph this.
That's so cool. You're in the moment. That's it. You got to do that. Can you explain to people what the image is of if they haven't seen it?
Yeah, sure. So it's the dad who had to dress in a kilt because the groom is Scottish and the groom was wearing a kilt. And well, I don't think he had to. I think he chose to kind of, join the rest of the groom's party. But then he's a big English rugby fan. So underneath his kilt, he had English rugby shorts. And so he lifted up his kilt and then his daughter's in the frame having her hair done. The hairdresser, who's, really lovely lady. And then the mum and the sister and kind of everyone's crowded around just cracking up at the dad, pulling up his kilt and revealing his, kind of real allegiance underneath his kilt. And literally second photo of the day, handed to me on a plate and simple composition and just press the shutter and enjoy it.
But it's not handed to you on a plate because you have to be aware of like something that could be happening right now. You've got to be still in the moment and in the zone. I think the first 1,000 photo I take at every wedding are awful. So your second
majority of mine are as well. I just I think it comes down to being in the right place at the right time and being able to anticipate stuff for sure. But I think sometimes you just feel like, wow, like this is really easy to be able to get a really good photo. That's happened to a couple of the ones that I've won for This Is Reportage. There's one of the bride smoking and like having her legs on her mum's legs, and that was again like literally one photo I took of that moment, which I'd never teach that. I'd teach like take 8 photos per moment, but I literally took one photo of that moment, and that was the image that turned out. And so sometimes I do think it's I don't think I believe in luck, but I think I believe in kind of good opportunities, and sometimes it's just being fortunate in a particular position.
Well, I think that's very modest of you though, dude, as well. I think we make our own luck, and a lot of it is from that kind of, well, some of it is just like kind of instinct, and others is like experience of knowing that, we've been in similar situations and something could happen. Like, there's something, it's like a sixth sense almost that we get. It is. And you can't continually get lucky, I think. Maybe once or twice you can, but you can't continually get lucky and win numerous awards from luck, dude. So it's skill.
I think I always I don't know, I always had like a career ambition of winning something like a Fearless Award or a This Is Reportage Award or something. And like once I won one, I was like, right, I could probably retire happy now. And like, I think, and I think it's amazing to kind of be recognised in that way. I also think it's just, sometimes it's just about being in the right place.
No, very modest, very modest. Right? It's so good, man. And that image that you just spoke about, the second photo, the recent Reportage Award. It's so cool the way you've got all those reactions all around, from the left, the right, and in the background as well, behind the dad. Everyone laughing. Yeah, outside in the conservatory, or literally outside. Anyway, but
I think outside in the garden.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good because you got the moment and then all the reactions all in the same frame. Lovely edit, as you always do a great edit as well. It's just super. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, dude. Really kind.
Congrats. No. I mean it. Anyone listening now, and you are obviously listening because you heard me just say anyone listening now. So yeah, head to thisreportage.com. I'll include that image that Olly just spoke about. Olly, another question here. Why do you spell your name wrongly?
Has that been submitted by Olly Baines?
Yeah, because this isn't actually the first time you've been on the podcast, is it? You've been on the podcast before.
Oh yeah, so we had a quick little interview where I think I said something really deep about fruit or something when we were at Doc Day, and so I was there with my friend Olly Baines, who is a brilliant, lovely wedding photographer. Mentored him a couple of years ago. He's such a dude, and we came together to Dublin, and everyone found it funny that we're called Olly and Olly, but then we spell our names differently. So I've always spelt mine Olly. Why? Because I wanna. I'm not really sure why. Y seemed a bit cooler when I was 16, maybe. I'm not sure, but it also departs from my name because I've never really liked Oliver too much. It's only really my mum, when she was stressed with my kind of hyperactivity when I was a kid, she'd be like, Oliver, and so I just thought of Olly, and the Y appealed to me, and I think me and Olly Baines, we always have a bit of banter about who spells it right, and we've even done various Insta polls, and most people think it's Ollie, and that's the way it should be.
Do they? Really?
I'm happy to be different, Alan. I'm happy to be sure. I'm happy to go, run in my own lane. That's all right. That's fine. The haters can hate.
That's a good thing. Oh, that's funny. It was fun talking to you and seeing you both at Doc Day. Actually, I really loved that.
We went for McDonald's together.
We did. That was one of my highlights. I love that.
No doubt. That was great. Actually, getting to meet you was really good because, obviously, I'd listened to the podcast lots, and I've come along to a couple of TIR drinks evenings, and that's been really fun. But actually getting the chance to properly meet you was a real highlight. But then also eating with you in McDonald's, that was just it was just wow. Does it get any better than this? An amazing day.
Oh, I love meeting you as well properly because we have spoken little bits, but not as much as that, was it? So that was really good. And Doc Day was ace, wasn't it? Do you enjoy it?
Really enjoyed it. It was really lots of different presentations and everything, very, very vastly different. Some that I felt really connected to, and others that I don't know, I appreciated but couldn't fully access. But I really loved is it Dan Morris?
Oh yeah,
his talk, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great, finding kind of street elements at weddings, and just some of the stuff he sees that I could never see that. I could never work that out. That hat would line up with those parasols, or that blue dress would line up with those blue flowers, and I'd never see that. I'm so much simpler than that when it comes to taking an image. It blew my mind. It was amazing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I loved it as well. And he's such a lovely guy.
He seems really fun.
Olly, I like the way you say, I don't know where I read this. I think it was on Instagram. Yeah. You say, I'm not into fads or fake stuff. I want real is beautiful. And, I totally agree, obviously. So have you always had such a documentary approach, or has your style changed over the years? Let's go back into the, this is your life, Olly world. How did it all begin with for you then? Because your background was as in the music industry, was it?
Yeah, so it's I was kind of had like job in music. I've kind of done various kind of music stuff in my past. So I was in a band.
What were they called?
Olly Knight band at first, which was a rubbish name, and then
Is it really Olly Knight band?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And kind of like we played like a string section. It's really fun, kind of singer-songwriter, acoustic kind of vibes. And then we had a band. We called it Eben, and people described us as being a happy Radiohead or a sad Coldplay. So it was cool. It was quite nice. But I don't know. We had we had some success, but like not like loads. We got to play a few cool festivals and stuff, but like nothing major.
Didn't you have like Ellie Goulding support you?
Yeah, you've done your homework. She supported us when she was still a student, singer-songwriter, and it's kind of surreal seeing where she's gone and where I've gone. But you know what though, I think like I wouldn't want to be doing anything else than this job. So I think like I over the years as well, like I've worked part-time for my church doing music stuff as well, down in Canterbury, and I've really enjoyed that. But I think when I went full-time into wedding photography, I guess for the second time in 2021, I just, like there was just nothing better than that first year. I just really felt like I was flying with, the mirrorless cameras that I'd got, and just, I got a new color edit. I was really happy with that. And just all the weddings, I just seem to be so much more grateful for them after the whole break during COVID and after no dance floors and no hugs. Everything just seemed to come together. But I think originally, in answer to the question, I've never changed my style. It's always been documentary. It's always been hands off. It's always been let the moments unfold before you and capture the emotion, capture them, everything that happens at a wedding. So at a wedding, like I won't be the loud noise. I won't be like, whoa, like do this, do that. I'll always be like, fairly quiet. I'll be chatty to people and I'll laugh along at jokes and stuff. But I won't be the big noise. I'll be kind of looking out for moments and kind of quietly documenting. And as I said, even like couple time for me is just more of a wander around rather than anything choreographed or anything posed. So I originally it was my brother-in-law that showed me his camera. I loved the way he could make an image look really sharp in the foreground, really blurry in the background. So I went onto a well-known online store and bought a which has the same name as a Brazilian rainforest. And I bought my first Canon camera and just really enjoyed it. I offered to
which was it? Which model?
It was a Canon 500D.
Same as mine, man.
Really? Was that your first one?
Right. That was my first as well.
Oh, awesome! That's it.
Isn't that weird?
Virtual high five.
Yeah.
So I offered to do a friend's wedding from church. They stupidly said yes. So I kind of figured I need to get a better camera. So I got a 5D. And then I was let loose at their wedding in 2011. Really loved it. And then like inquiries started snowballing from there, and I was just like, I've got to go full time with this. And just had a baby in 2012, and kind of needs to make a bit of a success of the company. So went full time with photography. I advertised on Groupon, which I'd never dream of doing now, but it was brilliant when I was starting out. It just like brought in all the business. And then just kind of went for it in 2012. And it just
same as me, 2012.
Really?
It's really similar. Yeah, and we have a really similar approach as well, though.
It's amazing. I love it. I think there was one photographer called Mark Wallace. Do you know him?
Oh yes, I've never spoken to him, but yes, I've never met him. But yeah, I know.
He was a photographer at a friend's wedding that I was playing music at, and seeing him in action and seeing his photos afterwards, you'd never know who was there. He was so discreet, but then the moments he got were absolutely awesome. And so his style really influenced me, I think, back in 2012, like entering, photography industry. And I just thought, you know what, I don't ever need to pose people. Like I can do a handful of family portraits if they want that kind of thing. But for the rest of the day, I can just be completely hands off, and I can get all the kind of stuff that that would mean the most to the bride and groom. And I'm a big fan of putting out the work that you love, and then couples will appreciate that and will book you based on that. And then you can give them, images that they'll love because they've invested in you and they love your style. And so like, I work with some people, and like I worked with a videographer last year, really nice guy, but he was like, I can't believe that you don't, get the groomsmen to like walk along in a line before the ceremony, and I can't believe that you don't get the bridesmaids to like sit around on the sofa and like pop the champagne bottle. And I'm like, no, because it all naturally happens. And he said to me at the end of the day, it was really refreshing just not having to intervene too much in the day and just being able to let the day run its course. And I just think people will be happier looking back on the photos of real moments, knowing that they weren't forced into set poses, knowing that they weren't forced to, like, I don't know, spray a champagne bottle or like light smoke flares and walk along with them. I really like, good for you if you do that kind of thing. But I think for me, I'm all about the real. I'm all about the moments. And for that kind of, the Instagram fads, they'll definitely, come and go. And the whole editorial style seems to be really popular at the moment. But I just don't think if you're documenting real moments, you don't need to change your style, because I don't think that will ever date. It will always be it'll always be current, because people that want the real, people that want the authentic, and those people will always be in the market and will always want to book you for those things.
So true. Yeah, I mean, we don't have video here, but I honestly there's been nodding and nodding back here, like some kind of what was that dog? What was that?
Oh, the Churchill dog.
Yeah, Churchill dog. Well, randomly, in my very old job in SEO, I worked for RBS, and Churchill was a brand actually trying to rank them for car insurance stuff. But anyway, but dude, you spoke.
Is that the best job you've ever had?
Yeah, no. But you spoke so well about it there. Yeah, it's like you couldn't say it better, I think. And obviously, I totally agree. Yeah, and we work in such similar ways. I think we really do as well.
Oh, we should do I know that you don't really have second shooters, but we should do one together. It
would be fun.
We should do one together. That'd be really fun.
Have you and Ollie done many together, like the Ollie?
The Ollie with the incorrect spelling. Yeah, we have. We've done a couple together. We should have done more really together, but we've done a couple together. But I started mentoring him during the COVID year, during 2020. Oh, yeah. So we were due to do a couple of destination ones together, but that obviously fell through.
Didn't you say you did one in Germany though during COVID?
I still did, yeah, and it was really interesting. So like went out in September 2020. It was up in the air as to whether we could go over and not have to quarantine before shooting the wedding. But it was the weirdest thing, because Germany didn't have as strict laws as we did at the time. So we were in Germany, and like we were the only people masked up, like during the ceremony, during the reception, during the dance floor. And it felt so strange photographing people on the dance floor, and I was wearing a mask and no one else was wearing a mask. It felt really predatory and very strange, and like just very, I don't know, faceless, and just didn't enjoy the experience. But I loved the couple, and I loved going out to Germany. It was just highly stressful, and like, to be honest, I think I used to get quite stressed about traveling abroad and working abroad anyway, but I think even more so during COVID, like during all the tests and everything. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, I don't want to go back to those times.
No.
Where in Germany was it? I love Germany.
It was near Dortmund. It was a town called Bochum. It's spelled Bochum. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly for our German listeners.
I will not pick you up. Yeah, I have no idea.
Dankeschön. But yeah, so it was a couple. I photographed their proposal on the Millennium Bridge in London a couple of years before. And
another one that you did the proposal that they got to.
I know, it's great. It's a good way of getting business. I'm letting all my secrets out. But yeah, it was a lovely wedding. Really loved the couple. But yeah, just unfortunate that I had to mask up, and lots of travel restrictions and everything.
Yeah, mad times. But the world's better now. World is better.
Oh, it is. It is. Amen.
Ollie, let's change tack. And
I'm dreading what's going to happen now.
You already told me before this begins that you're awful at
we haven't had Netflix for about the last 3 years, and I never really watched too many films. So I'm dreading this.
Getting the excuses.
I'm dreading this.
It's going to be fun. As you know, there are no prizes anyway. So it's all good. If anyone's listening for the first time, we'll just do a little quiz on the podcast just to mix things up. Well, I'm going to say a synopsis of either a series or a movie or film. We're going to see if Ollie can get the title, and hopefully people are enjoying playing at home. Hope they do. They might just hate it and everybody switches off about this point in the 8th episode. But no, I think it's fun. I enjoy it anyway. So let's do it. So Ollie, I've had a bit of a theme for your round because of your kind of background in the music industry. These are all movies or series to do with music.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. I think. Okay, so this first one is a series. It is old. It's like it's probably 20 years old, probably 15, 20 years old. Okay, so a musical comedy about Brett and Jermaine, a folk rock band from New Zealand living in New York City in search of stardom.
Oh, I know this one. Flight of the Conchords.
Yes, boom.
Yeah. I thought I'd get 0 out of 3, Alan. I could retire happy now.
Well done, man. That's a good spot because that you well, I guess if you'd seen that, we have it, but it's great. I loved it. Did you watch it?
So I think I've seen clips and enjoyed some of their songs and found it quite appealing and funny. I've never watched the whole series, although this is like a bit of a jog to, kind of go and watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it. They are so clever, great musicians, really funny as well.
They seem really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Good one. Okay, let's go to your second one. Well, you can be happy now. A lot of
honestly,
people get 0, so it's all...
I'm happy with 1 out of 3, Alan. Just don't give me the other 2. It's fine.
So the second one is it's gonna come. The second one is a movie. This is old as well. It's probably 20 years old or so. Okay, so a frustrated composer finds fulfillment as a high school music teacher. This is a bit tricky.
A frustrated composer. Sister Act.
Oh no, that's a good guess. That is a good guess.
Oh no, she wasn't a composer. She was a dancer.
Do you know what? I've never seen Sister Act actually. Yeah, I've never seen it, but yeah, it's good. It's Richard Dreyfuss. It's probably mid 90s.
I've never heard of that, let alone seen it.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it's called. Oh, don't worry. It's called Mr. Holland's Opus. It's a beautiful film, actually. If you're into music, it's a beautiful film. It's like,
that sounds great.
One of these uplifting things, because he's not happy that he's in a high school teacher, but he makes a real effect on these people's lives, and it's.
I said Sister Act.
Yeah.
Can I do a synopsis for Sister Act?
We have done Sister Act. I've done Sister Act in the past. If I look I've got my whole spreadsheet thing here. Wait a minute. We could do. Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? I did have it here.
Was it something like? Oh no, she wasn't a dancer. She was she was like a nightclub performer or something, and then went on to teach in a high school.
When a nightclub singer is forced to take refuge from the mob in a convent, she ends up turning the convent choir into a soulful chorus.
Oh, I know this one, Alan.
Repertoire. What is it?
Sister Act.
Yes,
yes, come on. Brilliant.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, kind of 2 out of 2.
No. Give me 1 out of 2 so far, Alan.
Okay,
You're too nice. I found this over the course of the episodes. I think that I pretty much listened to all your wedding photography episodes, and I think that you're sometimes too nice. So I'm gonna come back and say 1 out of 2.
Okay. Well, this third one, Ollie, is tricky. I normally leave the trickier one to the last. So okay. So this is a recent movie, probably I think it's about 3 or 4 years old, isn't it? So okay. A promising young drummer enrolls at a cutthroat music conservatory where his dreams of greatness are mentored by an instructor who will stop at nothing to realize a student's potential.
Could I have it again?
Okay, yeah, it's tricky. So, a promising young drummer enrolls at a cutthroat music conservatory where his dreams of greatness are mentored by an instructor who will stop at nothing to realize a student's potential.
I know sometimes you give clues, like to help people.
Oh,
I feel like I need a clue here, Alan.
I can't. Sorry, I don't have a clue for this one. I don't even know the names of the actors. Well. They're not the drummer, but the teacher who's like really aggressive. He's bold. I know he's bold, but I don't know. He was on Netflix for quite a while.
Yeah, I didn't have that. You know what, Alan? I'm so happy with taking 1 out of 3.
Yes.
I'm going to say something like Ringo.
That's a good guess. Yeah, that is a good guess. It's called Whiplash. Actually, Whiplash.
I'd have never got that, but I'm so happy with 1 out of 3, Alan. I really am. So thank you.
Well done, dude. That is good. That's good.
Alan, has anyone ever done a quiz for you on this show?
Not on this podcast. No.
Well, I made a jingle. Listen to this.
Alan Law's McDonald's quiz.
That's it. It's Alan Law's McDonald's quiz. I've got three questions for you, Alan, around the theme of McDonald's, and I've got the answers in front of me. And there's no prizes here, but it's just for dignity. So we all know that you love McDonald's, Alan. So here's 3 questions that I looked up 5 minutes before the podcast started, and see how many you can get right. Are you ready, Alan?
I am ready. I'm not going to get any.
Are you sure you're ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's play
Alan Law's McDonald's quiz.
Okay, right. So question number 1, Alan. How many McDonald's restaurants are there in the UK?
Oh man!
to the nearest 100.
Oh my day! To the nearest 100 in the UK. Oh, I would go for about 560.
The correct answer was 1,396.
Oh my days! Wow, that's even better. Okay.
There's a lot more. Apparently, in the US, there's more McDonald's than hospitals. So
Wow.
that's a bit of trivia for you. Question number 2. Alan, what's the most popular item on the McDonald's menu worldwide?
Oh, man, I'm going to go chicken nuggets.
The correct answer was fries.
Oh, the fries!
Oh, of course it was. Of course it was. Of course. I reckon you might get 1 out of 3 here, Alan, because this is a little bit easier. Ending with the easiest. Name a 2023 new acquisition to McDonald's line. So a new product that McDonald's have brought out this year.
McSpicy.
McSpicy is correct.
Yay!
You got 1 out of 3. Thank you so much for playing.
Alan Law's McDonald's quiz.
Great. Thanks, Alan.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
Just wanted to give back. You've given out so much, Alan. Wanted to give back.
Oh, dude, I love that. Oh, man.
Brilliant.
I've got like hot sweat though now. But
You know how we all feel then.
oh, dude, that was awesome. That's it. That's my highlight now of all
Good.
the podcast episodes.
Oh, can I claim that?
Yes. Well,
Brilliant.
yes.
I put that on my epitaph was Alan Law's highlight on this reportage.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Oh, the fries, of course.
Oh, the fries. It's easy. I mean, looking back on it, same with me and that composer and the last question it's easy when you know it, isn't it?
Oh, but that was fun. Thank you, man. I love that. Oh, that's such a cool surprise. Oh, dude. Oh, so good. Cool. Do you like a McSpicy, by the way? Have you had a McSpicy?
I haven't actually had a McSpicy, although my wife always knows what I want because it's always the new line that McDonald's bring out. I always go for like something new and something interesting. So I'd always go for like the, I don't know, like deluxe chicken burger or like the, new. I went after our holiday in Portugal. I went for the double Big Mac with bacon. So it was like 4 burgers in a bun and it was great. I loved it. So I always tend to go for like the new line or whatever comes out. Yeah, I'm a sucker for that.
That's like the opposite to me and always has the exact same thing.
What do you always have, Alan?
Honestly, it's so good, man. The McSpicy is so good.
The McSpicy. Oh, so that's what you always have now. Oh wow, interesting.
You got to try it.
I'd love to try it. Although you know what, I really like the McPlant burger, and I'm not a vegan, but like I tried it out once and really really loved it. It was great.
No, I would have to try it. I will.
Did you want to know? I don't know, if it's of interest to you, but did you want to know any of the other 2023 new additions?
Yeah. Okay.
You kind of had to say yes, didn't you?
Yeah.
Double McPlant burger, which sounds good. The McSpicy, which you got. You could have said garlic cheesy bites. You could have said double chocolate pie, which I had the other day. It was amazing.
Is that nice?
It's like the apple pie without apple. And then the McFlurry Biscoff, which I really would like to try at some point.
Yeah, I've not tried
and then
that either.
2 Galaxy McFlurry. So one's a normal Galaxy chocolate McFlurry, and the other one's a Galaxy salted caramel McFlurry, which sounds delicious. I love a bit of salted caramel. So trivia.
Right, that is good. Maybe we should just end this and go to McDonald's now because you
absolutely. I'd love that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was so fun. That was so fun. Let's go back to you, Ollie, and bit of photography, but also work-life balance. It's such a big thing, and rightly so. And I hear you love kind of rest as a topic. So yeah, tell us more about that.
So I think when I started out in photography, I said yes to everything because I wanted to increase my portfolio. I wanted to increase, future avenues for booking and referrals, recommendations, etc. So I basically said yes to everything. But then I quickly learned that I burnt myself out if I do, 35, 40 weddings a year, as well as, having a young family, trying to see friends. And to be honest, I think really like I wasn't giving my family my best. So I was just shattered. I was working pretty much every weekend. So I made a bit of like a rule of life 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was after the pandemic, actually. So maybe, 2 years ago, to never work more than 3 Saturdays in a month, to always take a month off a year, to always switch my phone off for 24 hours, put it away in my drawer, to always switch off my phone, have out of office on for at least, kind of a couple of weeks a year, particularly when I'm on holiday, and just tried to put those things in place so that I knew that I'd be able to give my family my best. So I wasn't giving my family the dregs and giving my work the best, but the opposite. Well, no, actually, not that I'd want to give my work the dregs, but I'd want to, kind of do well in photography, give my all to my couple. So I think over the years, I've decreased number of weddings. So I used to be more of like a 35, 40 a year man. And now I'm a bit more like 25, although I've still only got 24 in the diary for this year. So hopefully one will book up soon.
That's still a good number, though. That's a nice number.
Try to decrease, kind of quantity and increase kind of quality and price and that kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, and I think I've never enjoyed it as much as I'm enjoying it now. And I think that's thanks to getting a bit of a work-life balance sorted.
Well, that's so cool, man. It's so cool to hear. And it's a win-win for everyone. You're happier. You're going to do better work because you're happier. So your clients are going to get better images. So it's a win-win. And your family are going to have you around a lot more and present when you are there, which is, the most important.
I think like this job is the most amazing job and I love it. It never feels like a job. It feels like a hobby that I get paid for. But I think the only downside that I can possibly think for this job is the fact that it takes its tolls on the weekends. And so I think if you're working, most Saturdays, then you're going to be tired on Sundays. And if you've got young kids who are at school, then they're going to either, be like, where's my parent? Oh, they're out at work. Or where's my parent? Oh, they're really tired and they're lounging in the lounge. Rather than, being present, going out, kicking around a football or, going out on a day trip or whatever. So I think it was like it was a bit of like a change of, kind of philosophy for how I approach bookings and how I block out particular weeks of the year and that kind of thing. I think also the other negative would be that we can't, if we're ill, if we're really, really ill, we just have to go and shoot the wedding, don't we? And that's happened a couple of times where I've been like really ill and I've either had to shoot the wedding or get somebody to help me just in case I was to, pass out or be sick or something like that. But it's, I think that, to be honest, like, those two things for me would be the only drawbacks of wedding photography. I love everything else about it.
That's cool. Have you been able to stick to those things then? Like, only booking 3 Saturdays, and have you literally had inquiries for that 4th Saturday in a month and like turned it down?
Yeah, so it's hard sometimes. So like I used to have a rule of like 2 Saturdays a month, but then I'd find like really popular months like September and June, I'd be turning down business, and actually I wasn't, if I wouldn't meet my year's quota, then actually that's not sensible. So I've kind of upped it to 3 Saturdays a month. But I mean, to be honest, because I only do 25 a year, I'm really only averaging 2 Saturdays a month anyway, because that's how it works out across the year. So I've had to turn down some like really appealing weddings and some weddings that I just think like, I'd have loved to have shot that, but actually I want to prioritize the family. I'm kind of like I've tried to do one wedding where I've taken my family, made a holiday of it, and then shot the wedding, and then kind of returned home. I did that in Cornwall, actually, your patch, back in April.
Which venue?
It was at it was a venue near Padstow, and it was called Camel Studio.
Oh no, not shot.
It was really lovely. It was great. It was outdoors in April, and to be honest, at the moment in July, we can't really. Well, at the moment in August, we can't really get outdoors for weddings.
No,
which is crazy.
Awful,
but yeah, so I think like I'd really like to take them away if dates allow, for destination weddings, and make a holiday of that. But then I'd have to really keep it separate. So I'd have to have my week off with a family, and the couple would know that I'm not on my phone, I'm not checking messages. But then I'd literally shoot the wedding on the last day and then come home. I think that's the only way I'd really want to do it.
Well, that's funny you say that, because literally next week I go to France for a destination wedding, but it's the first time I'm taking my family.
That's amazing. Yeah, whereabouts are you going?
Well, we're because I'm doing it as a family holiday. We're gonna have like a few days of Disneyland, which we've never been to.
It's great.
It's a good. Oh, is it? Have you been? Yeah.
Yeah, really fun. Yeah.
Oh, good. We've never been to any, and I think it's a perfect. As I say, my daughter's about to start secondary school, so I think it's a good age to go. Yeah. And then we're gonna have like 4 days in Paris. We're gonna do a TIR meetup where it's in Paris.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're going to travel down to the south of France, so I do a wedding. I've not told the kids yet that I've actually got a wedding. It's at the end of the 10 days. I've not told them yet.
And whereabouts in the south of France is it?
It's like half an hour from Bergerac. Like it's near Montflankin or something. Montflankin? I don't know.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah. No, but I've never been able to do that before, like take the kids away on a destination wedding. So I'm really looking forward to doing a destination and having my family there around me instead of being away for like 4 or 5 days on your own. Which
absolutely. I mean, to be honest, I never really enjoyed traveling abroad alone. I always try and take a second shooter with me, or in the future, I hope to take the family with me. I think it makes such a difference having a companion. If I'm honest, I don't really enjoy my own company, so I think like having
I can't believe that, Ollie.
Serious. I get bored of myself, so I think like having somebody else like brings a lot of joy to those kind of trips. I think that goes really well, man. And so are you flying from Paris down to Bergerac area?
No, so we're flying from here to Paris, but then we're gonna get the train down to
Oh wow.
Not bought the train tickets yet. We've been a bit lackadaisical on that way, but it'll be
£20,000.
Yeah, I know. We looked into it a while ago, and it looks loads cheaper than like UK trains and quick.
Really?
So yeah, it should be fun.
That's good. I hope that it goes well, man. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing the pictures.
Oh, thanks, man. That's cool. Ollie, whilst you're still got you here, you also offer your own training and workshops with an awesome name too. So yeah, can you tell us more about what you offer?
Would it be really cheeky to say that I noticed what you did with your one and it said law school, and I was like, oh, what could I do like play on my surname? Oh, night class. So
this is perfect. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect.
Is that cheeky? Is that all right?
No, it's not cheeky at all. Loads of people have done puns on their names, so it's perfect. You got to do it, I think. So yeah, night class is perfect, man. It's so cool.
I used to be a driving instructor when in my early 20s, and I called my I called my school of motoring Night Rider School of Motoring.
Oh, that's perfect.
That was because it was a dare from a girl I fancied, and she's now my wife. So
really? Really?
Yeah. Kirsty dared me back in the day. She was like, "Oh, would you call it Night Riders?" And I was like, "I want to impress her. I'll call it Night Riders." So cool. So that's fun. But
never got any like copyright
no, the Hoff sending me a letter. Striding over in his red shorts.
So you met your wife then at how old were you when you met your wife then?
So I was sorry, I'm going on to another tangent. So I was 20. I was at university and met her at Mungo's Bar, Eliot College, University of Kent. We ended up going to the same church together in my third year, her first year, I think. And we were both youth leaders in the church youth group, and we got on so well. We just made each other laugh all the time. And then I realised I liked her a year later, and she didn't like me in the same way. She kind of wanted to be friends. I asked her out twice, and she said no. And then she moved back to Worthing, back where she grew up. And I thought, my chance is gone. Kirsty's gone forever. And then she kind of started texting me. And I thought, hello, this is a bit of a sign. And then we met up in London, and then I think I realised that she liked me again. And then I asked her out for the third time, and she said yes. And so and then we got engaged like 9 months later in Venice, and then got married 9 months later as well. So it was all quite quick, but we'd known each other.
That is quick. Yeah.
We'd known each other for about 4 or 5 years. So it kind of, and I knew, it sounds crazy, but I knew within a week or two of going out with her, like that I loved her and I wanted to marry her. And I just never met anyone like her. She's amazing, makes me laugh every day. And I think that's why I'm a big believer. I was saying earlier on what I really appreciate about you saying about your wife, but I'm such a big believer in not just in our industry, it's all about the wedding day, but actually there's so much more to invest in than just the wedding day. It's the lifelong marriage. It's enriching your relationship rather than just becoming a wedding planning team. It's investing in time together. And I don't know about you guys, but we do things like date nights sometimes with like the kids, or like date lunches. Go out for like little trips and nights away together, and that's important. It's so important. It really is, because otherwise you just become like a kids management team, and or like a bills management team.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you need to be able to enrich your relationship together. But I think sorry, going back to the original question. So I because I've got a background in teaching, and because I love photography, I've always tried to do a bit of teaching on the side of weddings as well. So I run sporadic day classes in Canterbury over the course of the year to encourage people to get off automatic settings and get onto manual, and just to kind of learn how to shoot with light. So that's probably more for like kind of beginners and amateurs. But then I've started running something yearly called Night Class, and it's it's in January. It's 2 days, and it's based in Canterbury. We have it all in my home, so I kind of open my home to people. Usually have between 6 and 8 people that book in, and they'll kind of rent Airbnbs or stay somewhere in Canterbury, and we'll go out for a meal on the kind of the middle night, and it's really, really nice. It's just kind of basically an open book of how I shoot weddings in a documentary style, how I don't have to pose anyone, and so I think 2024 it's going to be 11th 12th of January, but yeah, I really love those days together. They're great, and I think it's wonderful to see kind of how people go on after those days. So the guy who I talked about earlier on that came out with me to Portugal, a guy called Tom, so he came on my course a year and a half ago, and then I started mentoring him, and just to see his improvement in the last year and a half is amazing. And like some of it would be down to him coming on the course and being mentored by me, but also loads to do with like him just being really passionate about it, pushing himself, and kind of getting the opportunities. And so I'm a big believer in investing in others, and not just keeping knowledge to ourselves, but sharing it, and also I guess like creating community as well, because I think maybe, I don't know, the third thing that can be frustrating about working as a wedding photographer is that you just work as a solo, and it's not much of a team. But I think if you've got a community around you, people that can cheer you on, people that you can go to for support and advice, or like, oh, this person said this about my photos and I'm gutted, what do I do? It's quite nice just to have a community around you that can support you.
That is so true, man. It's so true. And I have to say, it's actually one of my favorite things just about TIR, that just like almost like a side thing. It's so fab just to see sometimes someone will post their work and I see another TIR member like comment on it, and sometimes I know people have met up and they've second shot for each other, and I know they've met because of TIR, and I know loads of people meet through lots of different ways, but it's just so nice to see actual connections through TIR, and it's just a lovely community and so supportive, as you say.
Absolutely. And I think like big respect to you for starting it, because I know that's not the reason that you said what you've just said, but I think starting something that's purely documentary wedding photography, and then obviously with family as well now, I just think there's just something really unique about it, because there's been the big organizations in the past, but it's been a mix of post and documentary. But the whole thing of TIR being purely documentary and attracting people that shoot in a documentary style, but then, as you say, like having this great community, and there's people that I've met through TIR that I consider really good friends now, and it's amazing. And I think it's really great. So I've really enjoyed it. And to be honest, like this podcast alone, I've listened to so many episodes, probably nearly all of them, on the drive to a wedding, and like it gives me such good encouragement and like real kind of inspiration listening to how other people shoot and how they approach weddings and their passion for wedding photography and shooting in a docu way. And so big thanks to you for setting that up, and big thanks to you for doing this podcast, because it takes loads of hours, and we all appreciate that a lot.
Oh, thanks, man. That's so lovely of you. So you said I'm too kind. You're too kind. You're too kind, man. And thank you for being such a major part of it as well. It's just so awesome. It's been so fab to meet you, and now to talk to you on the podcast and everybody to hear you. I love that. It's so cool. And back to your workshops. I just know that your 2-day thing at your place there is just going to be so great. I know those people are going to get so much from it, because you're just so lovely, and you're so wise, and you're just so. Well, you are though, and you've just no, but you are, and you've just shown that just on this episode. So yeah, people really do get on Night Class. It's such a great name as well. So I'll include a link through to it, man, from this this podcast blog page on thisreportage.com, obviously. And you could just say now what's the URL people go to if they are interested.
Yeah, so if they just wanted to go to my website, so it's ollyknightphotography.co.uk, and then I've got an education.
Is that OLLY?
Why? Because it's best. And then people can go to the education tab, and then there's lots of info down there about courses, and then under courses there'll be all the stuff about Night Class. Awesome. Yeah, and I see, very excitingly, Alan, you've got one coming up in Cornwall and Manchester, is that right?
That's right. Yes, just yesterday. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it as well. It's good fun.
Isn't it so good just getting to pass on stuff and then seeing things really click in people's heads, and they're like, "Oh, thank you for that," and you're like, "Well, I just said it." When are yours?
So mine's October 11th and October 18th. So Cornwall and Manchester. Yes,
that's amazing. I genuinely love to come along to one of yours one day. It'd be so good.
Dude, no, I wouldn't be able to teach you anything.
No, you'd be able to teach loads. You taught me a lot at Elevate, so yeah, absolutely.
That's very kind, very kind. Dude, I want to talk longer. So have you still got more time? We've been like an hour, but have you got time?
Got to go and file down my tooth. Sorry. No, I've got all the time in the world, and in fact, like I this is brilliant. I've always kind of been kind of keen to talk to you on this, and it's really exciting, to be honest. So I've got all the time for you.
Oh, awesome, dude. Awesome. I'm loving it. So yes, let's do more. Have you really sung with Ed Sheeran at a wedding?
You really have done your homework. Yes, I did. Yeah. And just thinking out loud about it, it was perfect.
Thinking out loud. Perfect. Nice. Yeah. That is good. You must have said that before. Have you watched the Ed Sheeran documentary on Disney Plus?
I haven't.
So good.
You know what? I don't really love his music. I really respect him, and I like his storytelling in his songs. But like, I think there's plenty of other people I choose to listen to. But he was like super lovely and humble and kind.
How did it happen?
So basically, I was singing. So my music for my church. So I do something called like worship leading. I don't know if you've heard of that phrase, but it's basically like So that I guess back in the day with churches, there'd be an organ and pews, and people would kind of sing hymns to the organ. So these days in some contemporary churches, like I'm part of, you have a worship band, and so there'd be somebody who'd lead the band. So like kind of the equivalent of a front man or a front lady for a band, and you'd play and you'd sing. And so like I guess the style that I'm more used to playing and singing in would be more like drums, bass, keys, electric guitar, acoustic, that kind of thing. So I was doing this at my friend's wedding, my friend called Greg, and this was years ago, and he put on the order of service. Thanks so much to Olly for leading the band, and to Ed Sheeran for singing during the signing of the register. And Greg was a bit of a joker, and so I said to him, like, oh mate, like, funny one with the order of service. This was just before Ed walked into the church, and he was like, oh no, seriously mate, like he was a good friend with the bride growing up. And I was like, really? And so like Ed Sheeran just came up to me and was like, you're right, mate, can I use your mic and your guitar lead and stuff? Is that all right? I was like, yes. Wow. And so I was sat in front of him as he was singing this song that he'd written literally the night before for the bride and groom, and during the signing of the register. And like, it's really crazy thinking that Ed was singing along with the hymns and contemporary songs that I'd have been, kind of singing and leading people in during the wedding ceremony. But then also that I was literally like, I was with him for quite a while, and we were sharing some of the same equipment, and it was so strange. But he was so humble, so down to earth, and just like kind of one of the lads. Really, it was really, really chilled. It was crazy. Awesome. But afterwards, I put a little photo on Instagram. I was like, yeah, I played with this guy at a wedding today. I think he could go far. And then Ed Sheeran fan club like took objection to this and like retweeted it, like, he's already a megastar. How can you say this? And I got loads of hate on Twitter. And that was brilliant. So that was the start of my love for Twitter, really.
Dude, what a story. I love that. That's so cool though, isn't it? Crazy. Wow, that's so cool. And honestly, you should watch that Ed Sheeran documentary. I'm not a massive fan, but the documentary is really, really interesting. I do think he has written some great songs though. I think his first single, the A-Team, I still love the A-Team. Yeah,
no, what? I think A-Team was great. But I think the way that he kind of conveys emotion and tells the story through a song was a really key thing for like his USP. And I think I respect that. And even though, his music isn't my kind of music, I think he's obviously done amazingly well. So
yeah, and he's cool. And he was really interesting on like Desert Island Discs as well. Actually, I think he's an interesting guy. He's cool. Yeah. And that's awesome, man. That you met him and sang with him. That's so cool. And we're like, I'm talking to you, so I've kind of now vicariously kind of have sung with Ed Sheeran. Olly, I read that one of your most embarrassing moments at a wedding has something to do with a tray full of beers. Spill.
Oh, my life. Spill. That's amazing. I needn't bottle it up, Alan. I need to tell about Tutu. Good. If anyone was counting. So I was taking the like what we all really love to do at weddings, the family group shots, and that's what we live for. And I was kind of crouched down fairly low because I was kind of taking some on the 85, and just trying to get a nice angle for the family shot. And a waiter with a tray of Peroni decided to stand right behind me. This was at a venue in Canterbury that I really love, and so I got up and literally just swung around because I didn't think anyone was standing right behind me, let alone a guy with a full tray of Peroni beers. And the tray just went up in the air. All the beers went up in the air. It was some kind of like beer fountain. Like all these beers were just like going up in the air, and it absolutely covered him. I didn't get any beer over me at all, which is is fantastic. Although I lived 2 minutes down the road, so I could have gone to get changed, and no one would have been any the wiser. But yeah, so it went everywhere. I didn't say sorry at the time because I thought, why were you standing there? I said sorry later on because I swallowed my pride and thought I should. But I just kind of like looked at him. I was like, why? And then he kind of.
Did you photograph the carnage?
No, I should have done, shouldn't I? That would have been proper documentary. And even the guy who was videoing with me, like he should have videoed it as well. But the funny thing, I felt like I wanted the ground to swallow me up. I really did. And I felt so embarrassed, but I kind of went up to the bride and groom and made a joke of it and said like, I knew the bride was a solicitor, and I was like, where there's blame, there's a claim. What would you do in that situation? And she's like, yeah, definitely sue. And so like we made a bit of a joke of it. And then the groom's dad said to him, you want to know the best moment from your wedding, son? And he was like, oh no, it was when your photographer backed into that waiter and all the beers went everywhere. And so I'm pleased that the father of the groom enjoyed that more than seeing his son get married. So great.
That's typical father of the groom.
It is, isn't it? It is.
Oh, that's good. They'll remember that though. They'll remember it.
I think that's one of two of my most embarrassing things that have happened at a wedding, Alan.
What is the other one then?
Is the other one?
Embarrassing? Yeah, more embarrassing because the tuth isn't embarrassing. That's just funny. So
so I was in Serbia for a wedding in Belgrade, and it was my second ever.
Just dropping all these.
It was my second ever destination wedding, Alan. And I was pleased to be there and everything. But again, it was during the group photos. It's literally these two stories have come from like the 5 minutes of the day that I dislike the most. But I was photographing the groom, the bride, and the groom's Serbian grandparents, a granddad and grandma either side. And the granddad just wasn't looking anywhere near me. And I kept on saying, "Oh, can you everyone look this way?" And I was kind of pointing at the camera as well, just to try and get the granddad to look anywhere near me. And like he still wasn't looking anywhere near me. And I was like, "Everyone this way, woo!" And like kind of like getting everyone to look this way. And the granddad was still like looking at the sky or looking at the ground. And I was like, "Well, what's up here? Like this is really strange." And I said to the groom, I was like, "Georgie, can you get your granddad to look this way?" And he said, "Oh, Ollie is blind."
Oh man!
And I felt so bad, but I hadn't been told before. He didn't carry a cane. He wasn't wearing dark glasses. I didn't know this before, but I felt so mortified. I felt so bad. And I just said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he said, "Oh, you went to know, it's fine. Maybe I should have picked up on some cues or something like that." But yeah, I just took lots of photos afterwards, and then kind of went and buried my head in a bush somewhere and cried. And it wasn't great. But
dude,
they didn't mention it afterwards.
No.
Yeah. Have you shared your most embarrassing moment?
I don't think I have any that compare to that. I think, Ollie, I can't.
I'm sure you.
Well, yeah, I guess, but not as funny as that. No, I've broken things. No, not that interesting.
What have you broken?
Well, it's like this like stone plinth thing that I was like standing on, and it just fell to the ground, and it cracked in about 4 pieces, and all the guests just looked at me. They didn't come and try and help me or anything. I just bent down, tried to put it back together. And
what was this stone plinth?
It was this weird. I don't know. It was on this edge by this venue in Devon. It was like outside, like in this courtyardy bit, and I just knocked it, and so that was a bit
did you say anything to the venue or not?
No, I kind of just tried to put it back together and then walked away. And
if you own a Devon wedding venue and you're listening to this podcast, and if you've been a victim of vandalism at your wedding venue, then just head to alanlaw.co.uk, and where there's blame, there's always a claim.
That's funny. Dude, I read that you enjoy running, so I just wanted to ask, how is that humanly possible? How?
Well, after my McDonald's, you know what? I didn't ever used to like running, and I used to think that people that ran were a bit pointless, and why would you do this? Not the people that are pointless, but like the activity that's pointless. And my friend just took me out once, and I was like a sweaty, kind of mess at the end of it. But when I had kids, I kind of thought, well, I need to get out and do something, and I just started going out a couple of times a week, and I gradually, that what they say, like when you do something like 10 times, you kind of start to like it. When you do something 20 times, it becomes a habit. And so like I started doing it, and it really did become a habit, and I really enjoy doing it now, and it just kind of gives me a bit of headspace. I go out, I put something, a podcast in my ears, and I just enjoy it. And I probably do, I don't know, I probably do like maybe 3 lots of 4-mile runs or 6-mile runs a week, and just around where I live. And like I think it keeps me fit as well. So like for weddings, I feel like I've got more stamina these days, just because I feel like I can go on, and I tend to feel like I've got like a fair bit of energy for kind of considering I'm very old now. I'm nearly 40, but I don't, pretty old. But I kind of feel like I feel like I've got a fair bit of energy, and I think running really helps with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've never enjoyed it at all. I just don't like it, but it makes total sense. Yeah.
Do you do any kind of form of sport or kind of going out?
I do. Well, I do. So I do. I think it's really important. I know people think from my stories that I just eat like 20 McDonald's and like I must be about 20 stone or something. But no, I do. So I've got like a home gym, so I work out like every other day, which is I think is really important. But I also, for my aerobic stuff, I've got this under desk cycle, which sounds funny, but it's so good. So I'm like editing or working on my laptop and I'm cycling like, and it's just
sounds amazing.
Can
you send me a picture of you, or even a video of you doing your cycling whilst you're
I should do that
editing? That's brilliant.
Honestly, though, it's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. It's so good. I forgot what it's called. Desk Cycle 2 it is. And it's just
that sounds amazing.
So it's really low profile. It's silent, so you can put it under any kind of table, really. Yeah.
I guess it really just gets you in gear to edit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 3-2.
Nice.
3-2. 3-2.
Dude, let's do some quick fire ones. Let's do quick fire ones because there's so many questions. Okay, so quick fire. Okay. What's your favorite Disney film?
Lion King.
Oh, that's a good choice. I loved Lion King as well. Yeah, it's good. Have you watched the remade one?
I have. I liked it. I loved the cartoon original. Cried when Mufasa died.
Oh, yes, and me. Totally. Yeah. Mufasa. Anyway, that's a good one. Okay, as a kid or a teenager growing up, did you ever have any celebrity crushes?
Holly Valance.
Oh, yes.
From Neighbours.
Good one. I remember her. Yeah, which is nice. Good one. What was the best concert you've ever been to?
Sigur Rós at Alexandra Palace, absolutely incredible. Icelandic band. They make up their own language.
I've seen them as well.
Oh, have you? Oh, yeah. Aren't they the best? Where did you see them?
Well, I support them. I saw them supporting Radiohead in Oxford, actually.
Oh, my life. Radiohead are like the band that I want to see before I pop my clogs. They're the big band that I want to see. I bet that was epic. Sigur Rós and Radiohead.
Yeah, and
like
Beck
two of my faves.
Well. And Beck as well. All on the same bill. And it's like that because they're from Oxford, aren't they? So it's like
they are.
Yeah, but it shook down. It was outside. It rained the whole time, but it was.
Oh, I bet it was. It was. Favorite Radiohead song?
Oh man, it's so many. So that's the kind of thing. I always used to take a guitar at university to house parties. I would be always playing Radiohead stuff. So, I don't know what my favorite song is. I still think The Bends is probably my favorite album. Or I don't know. What's your favorite Radiohead song?
I think if I was going to go old school Radiohead, something like High and Dry or Karma Police or something like that.
Yes, complete.
I think like electronic Radiohead, probably something like Idiotech.
Idiotech's awesome. Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Like the beat. Oh, we could just sing like Radiohead over the podcast. Everyone would love it.
That's so funny. I know they're known as like depressing, but I find Radiohead uplifting.
Me too. I don't get it when people say depressing music because I'm just like I don't think necessarily it is. I think if I'm editing, I'll listen to a Hans Zimmer soundtrack. I saw him live a couple of months ago. He was amazing.
What's that called?
But yeah, I just listen to something cinematic, something like soundtracky, and just something quite epic. And I tend to find my contrast goes up on my edit, and my black and white becomes even more epic. And
really?
based on the epic music you listen to. So yeah, I love stuff like that.
Oh, I bet Hans Zimmer was also. I'd love to watch that. So I think I said to you on Instagram that I've watched the Live in Prague concert loads. So I love that. To see it in real life must have been awesome.
Incredible, so good, loved it.
Ollie, this is not so quick fire, but when you've reached old age and you're looking back at your life, what would you like to think about the life you've led?
Oh, Alan, wow, what a question. That's so good. As I mentioned, I go to church, I'm a Christian. So I think my biggest hope for my life is that I'll have honoured and loved God with everything that I live. Not everything that I've said, because like everyone, I make mistakes and I say the wrong stuff sometimes. But just the way that I've lived, I've wanted to honour and love God with all my heart, all my soul, all my being. And I think just that I've been a faithful and good husband to Kirsty, and that I've been a nurturing father to my kids, Caleb and Rose. I think honestly, like if we've talked a lot about career aspirations and, like aspirations to win awards or to, kind of teach photography or to do destination weddings or something like that. But I think all of that will just pale into insignificance when, I retire, when I get to, 65, whatever it is. And so I think those are the big things for me. So like honouring and loving God and to, be a family man. That's
all beautiful, man. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's beautiful. Now Yeah, you can't get bigger than that, can you? I can't ask like, do you eat the canapes after you say that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And ask me. Yes, I do.
Do you eat the canapes?
Yeah, I do. And I've got a tactic as well, Alan. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, spill.
Okay, so I'd be talking in a group to people when I see the canapes go around. If I haven't been offered any yet, I'll have my hands down by my sides, covering the view of my cameras. So the canape server will think, oh, he's just another guest talking to other guests. And he or she will start to offer me a canape, and I will very much say yes, and then eat it with the guests, and then pick up my cameras and go back to work.
That is genius, Ollie. It's genius.
Yeah. And you can find other tips like that on Night Class.
That's got to be the best tip shared on all the podcast episodes. Oh, dude, it's been so good. I am having to stop, but I could just go on. But randomly, I've got a call at 7:30 with a potential wedding client, so I do actually have to stop it.
Oh, honestly, like go for that, do that.
Oh, but this has been so. I've still got time for one question, but dude, it's just so great talking to you. You're so cool. You're so fab to talk to, and just so lovely, and so full of just great knowledge, and just lovely. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Alan. Honestly, it's been such a highlight of my summer getting to do this podcast with you, and thank you so much for all you do for the community, for setting it up, for keeping it going, and for being such an encourager for lots of different people. And we really appreciate what you do, bro.
It's lovely of you to say, man. It's lovely. Let's do one big question then, dude, because we haven't done much specifically on this, I guess, which is always funny for the Reportage podcast. But yeah, what would be your top? You've heard me ask this, I'm sure, lots of times. What would be your top tips or thoughts or advice to help someone become better at the documentary side of what we do? Yeah. So any thoughts, any bits of advice about?
Such a good question. And you know what? I haven't even thought about what my answer would be when you've asked other guests. But I think my biggest thing, and I think it was something that I was taught by a photographer from Mexico called Daniel Arguella, who I went along to one of his workshops years ago. And he said that the simplest question I need to ask myself when I'm photographing weddings is, where do I need to be to get the shots? And then I move there. And I think sometimes if we're in a ceremony or during the speeches, we kind of think, oh, I don't want to be an inconvenience to guests, or I don't want to go over here because otherwise I'll block people's view, or I don't want to move here because I don't want to get in the way. But actually, where do I need to be to get the shot? Actually, sometimes I need to be in the way for a few seconds, or sometimes I need to be, kind of really close to the action to record the emotion and what's going on. So I think that's something that I always ask myself at weddings, like, where do I need to be to get the shot? And then I move there. And I think maybe one other little small thing is just to slow down as well. So during bride prep, my tendency can be just to move from place to place to place and try and get all the angles and try and get all the moments and everything like that. And I think just knowing that we can't get every moment at a wedding, just being resigned to the fact that I can't physically get every moment that's going on here. But what I can do is I can make the photos that I capture the best that I can for the couple. So I try and slow down a lot, and I try and think through composition, think through layering, think through what's going on in the frame, and then just wait for stuff to happen once I've composed. So I think, those two things would be quite big for me. So where do I need to be to get the shot, move there, and then also slow down and wait for things to come into place.
Both absolutely brilliant bits of advice, man. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, totally. I was nodding away furiously there again as well.
Churchill dog.
Yeah, and so good, man. And the whole episode's been so good, and loads of bits of knowledge. And so yes, people do definitely go to Night Class. I'm sure it's awesome, and I'll include a link through to it, as I said before as well. And it's and the website is OLLIE, isn't it?
No, it's not, Alan. It's not at all. That's a lie. If you own a Devon wedding venue and you've been a bit vandalism, please.
It's funny. No, but I'll include an actual link through from this reportage anyway, so people won't be able to get it wrong. It's all good.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's all good. And dude, thank you so much for talking to me. I hope the rest of your season goes well. All the best for your son's 11 plus as well.
Oh, thank you. And I hope it goes well with your daughter starting secondary school. And also your destination wedding in France with your family. Tell me how it goes. I'd love to hear.
I will do. Yes, thank you, man. I will. And hopefully I'll see you, maybe TAR Christmas party or, soon or something. It'd be great to meet up again, dude.
I would love that. That'd be so good. And if you're ever in the Canterbury area, come and say hi. Have you ever been to Canterbury? Everyone asks you, Alan, have you been to my country? Have you been to my place? Have you ever been to Canterbury?
I've never been to Canterbury.
You need to come to Canterbury. It's amazing. It's city of history, beauty. It's amazing.
Oh, it does sound nice. I mean, the name
You'd love it.
itself. Okay, cool. I will come and I will definitely see you. Yeah, definitely. Awesome.
You'll
Cool,
have
man.
so many places in the world that you have to go to after
I know.
doing this podcast.
Just stay in Cornwall.
Yeah, frantically trying to race around.
Thank you so much for talking to me. That was awesome, dude. All the best.
Thanks, Alan. You too. Cheers.
Bye, man.
Bye.
You've been listening to the 132nd episode of the This Is Reportage podcast. Absolutely loved chatting to Olly. Such a lovely guy. Hope you enjoyed listening in. Head to thisisreportage.com for a link through to his website to see the Ace Reportage Award he spoke about, and a link through to his night class course too, with the next one he's running being on the 11th and 12th of January 2024. As mentioned on my probably annoyingly long intro, I'm also running 2 of my own workshops in the UK in October 2023, one in Manchester, with just the one place left at the moment, and one in Cornwall. Head to alanlawphotography.co.uk if you fancy booking on either of those. We now have 132 episodes of the podcast available, where we speak to wedding and family photographers from all over the world. If you liked this episode, delve into our back catalogue for lots more. If you're not a member of This Reportage or This Reportage family, check out all the benefits of joining us, including an unlimited number of images on your profile, 60 individual award and 18 story award entries per year, invites to our physical meetups and parties, exclusive discounts, hours of educational videos featuring tips and advice from some of the world's best photographers, and much more too. There's just a couple of weeks left to submit to our next awards round now. The deadline is the same for both sites. Submit by 23:59 BST on the 23rd of September 2023. No poses, nothing staged. This is Reportage. And this is bye for now.